Hi, welcome to The Pursuit of Truth. It is the 9th of August 2018. I wasn't going to do this, but I thought I might as well, because I know these are just distractions and I don't want to add to the distraction, but the issue with Boris Johnson, MP, former, what was he? Foreign Secretary. Don't laugh. So he has made a comment. I think it was in the Daily Telegraph. Would have thought it'd be more likely the Daily Express, but his comment is about Muslim women, and I don't know why he wanted to talk about Muslim women, or whether he was, that's what makes me think this might be contrived, and it might just be like a Donald Trump-esque type of thing. I know Boris Johnson is very similar to him in his style of saying outlandish things and getting away with them, and maybe it's just to bring himself into attention, because I'm not sure why he really cares about this, but he was saying that Muslim women who wear full face veil burqas are akin to, or like, letterboxes and bank robbers. I mean, personally, as a Muslim, I don't believe in the face veil. I believe it's I don't believe that the Quran stipulates that. But if Muslim women choose to read it that way and want to do that, then that's up to them. I mean, I can think of far worse clothing to wear. I mean, for someone to cover themselves up, I don't see that as a crime or an issue. But it's interesting how Sky News have helped out Mr. Johnson by having a poll asking whether he's a racist, whether it's a racist comment, what he said. And 60% of people have said it's not racist. And possibly it could be due to the question that is given that answer, because obviously you think of it as a racist thing because it's saying something derogatory about a person. But the thing is, because racism is a connection to a race, and a Muslim isn't a race, it's a religion, so technically, you could say that, yeah, okay, it's not racism. What the question should have been, and this I would hope would have given a better response, is what Boris Johnson said a hate crime? That is an actual thing in this country, a hate crime. And I would hope that the public, because based on that result, you'd think that, there's a lot of racists out there. Obviously a poll can be a few thousand people, and there might be people who are very anti-Muslim and coming into that vote. So I would have hoped that if you ask the actual proper question of whether it's a hate crime, because yes, technically it's not, like I say, it's not a race. A Muslim isn't a race. But I think it is definitely a hate crime, isn't it? The letterbox thing, okay, let's leave that to one side. But bank robbers, which is, so you're saying that a virtuous Muslim woman, and she must be quite virtuous to be wearing a full face veil. I mean, that's quite, that's quite, you're going the full mile, isn't it? That doesn't definitely mean you are, but, you could, it's akin to like a nun, isn't it, wearing a habit. You would expect her to be quite virtuous, but the fact is, this suggests that she's like a bank robber, which is a thief, which is, it's a negative connotation, isn't it? I wonder if someone said that at work, whether they would be brought up. I'm sure they'd at least be told off. So I'm interested how he's written it down, and he's got away with this just because he's Boris Johnson, just because he's entitled. But I'm sure it's all just for distraction, isn't it? But it's interesting that Cressida Dick, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, she says there's not enough for it to be taken further. I haven't heard anything from Theresa May. You would have thought she would have said something, an attack against defenceless women in this country. I mean, how many Muslim women are there in this country that wear full face veil burqas? I don't think it's that many, is it? How many? Because he was saying that he'd expect them, if they came to speak to him, to take their face veil off to speak to him. Remembering this country is meant to have religious freedom. And of course now people are going to start saying about, oh, let's ban the burqa like they did previously. And we'll go down the European route of banning people's religious freedoms by pretending that it's not anything to do with that. Anyway, the other thing I was going to talk about is I've been listening to the third Instagram compilation that Subtle Infinity did. There's three of them altogether. They're really good stuff. They cover a lot of different topics, and there's loads of different clips, and it's very educating because some of the stuff I've listened to him talk about before, but if you've never heard what he talks about, it's very enlightening. The idea of race, the idea of there's the slavery issue, the idea of Americans who believe that they are freedom fighters, yet they are in a country that they stole. But there was the one that stood out for me on the third one was there was this child, and she had two babies, plastic baby dolls. One was white, one was black. She's a black girl, so-called black girl, I should say, because I don't believe in that anymore. But she was asked, which is nice, which is good, or something like that, which is bad, which was not nice, which is ugly, and all the negative things she picked for the black baby. And then the person asking the question asked her, which baby's more like you? And she said the black baby. My heart, I felt like I was going to cry. How indoctrinated just a small child is to... She knows that she is the same as that baby, and yet she'll say such negative things. Anyway, yeah, take listeners on YouTube. Subtle Infinity is this webpage. Yeah, there's a lot of rubbish that happens in our world. There's a lot of cruelty, and I don't know how we're ever going to change all this horrible stuff we've done over millennia. Maybe it's too late for that. Take care, take it easy, God bless and peace.